Kira Buddha Papa! Hello everyone! It's Lel, and today we're going to talk about episode 13 from Hirogaru's PreCure with a special appearance of Cure Miracle. I love Cure Miracle's design. She is a very beautiful Cure. I have a very strong liking for pink Cures that are blonde. I feel like it just adds to the magic of their designs. Cure Miracle is definitely one of the most beautiful pink Cures. I really like her design. But today, we're here to talk about episode 13 and what an emotional ride this was. I feel like the writers of this episode had the hardest time out of all the episodes from Hirogaru so far because they had to deal with things that are not easy to deal with. They had to deal with, one, an episode with no fighting scene and still had to create a scenario that would justify the girls transforming. And second, the emotional aspect of the episode was based on something we know is not going to happen. So we have a goodbye. A goodbye that we know, we, the viewers, know it's not really a goodbye. We know that after the girls go to Skyland and everything gets returned to its place, we know something will happen for the adventure of the girls to continue. But for them, it's the moment that Sora will stay in Skyland and Mashiro will come back to Soroshido City. It's the end of Hirogaru Sky PreCure as they know it. So, how do you write a story like this and have the emotional impact that it's needed even though the viewer knows it's not going to happen? I don't know how they did it, but they managed to do it because I cried while watching this episode. What a beautiful narrative we had. So I'm going to try to gather my feelings towards this. Let's go. First off, we have the scenario that Elle is growing up. She is starting to walk and they go to buy shoes. The only shoes she likes is the one that another lady is trying to buy. She gives them to Elle. The girls are reluctant in giving the shoes to Elle, but the woman is reluctant in letting Elle stay with the shoes. But the girls notice, especially Mashiro and Sora, I think Mashiro a little more, they notice that the woman isn't very happy with giving the shoes back. And I love certain things about those scenes of that starting moment. I love the colorfulness and the playfulness of the scene. Tsubasa with the shining shoes for his princess. It was very cute. And I also loved the moment in which the woman decided to give Elle the shoes and Sora's like, oh, she's a hero. And she started, writing it up on her notebook. Every heroic act, she's always paying attention, as different as they can be. I love that. But then when they get home, they notice that their decision might not have been the right one. And so they go on a quest to give back the shoes. But going as chronological order as things happened in the episode, we had another scene of Yo-Yo telling the girls the portal is ready. We see the king and the queen from Skyland. Very nice. I really love the queen's design. She looks very pretty. And, there is the emotional aspect already flourishing in the episode. Yo-Yo tells them they cannot depart right now. She needs to still work on certain things. I think that Yo-Yo could have sent them to Skyland at that exact moment. But she knew that the girls needed a little bit more time for their goodbye. As I said before, we, the viewers, know it's not going to happen. But the characters who are living the story, they don't know. So they have to act as if it's a real goodbye. So Yo-Yo gave them a little bit more time for them to say their proper goodbyes and enjoy their last moments together. They call Ageha to sleep in the house with them, and I really love that moment that Ageha is pretending to snore very loudly so that the girls will leave the bedroom and will talk outside. When they go to talk outside, they start sharing a little bit of their memories and a little bit of what they've been through so far, but they hold back. They don't want to cry. They don't want to get too emotional. They don't want to say their proper goodbyes. So they mask it with smiles. They really hold back. And Ageha is watching everything. And Ageha says, let it go. You have to cry. You have to find a moment. But this is what I love about Ageha. And this is something that her character that has been consistently doing. She tries to guide the characters, but she never really states what she is doing or her thought process of or what she's thinking. She is always acting around and beating around the bush to see if the person notices what they have to do. And I really like that. I'm really loving that about her character. Love that aspect. So the girls are not honest about their feelings. So this is going to connect very strongly to the story of the lady that was buying shoes for her granddaughter. When the girls meet her again, they learned about her story. She doesn't want to say goodbye to her granddaughter and her son because if she does, she's going to cry, and that is going to ruin the goodbye. That is going to ruin the last moment that they're going to have together. And that will spoil the good feelings that they have. One of the things I like about this is that we have a focus on an older person, and I always like when shows do it. It's kind of scarce, so I'm very happy when it does. PreCure sometimes does it, and I'm very fond when it does. And when the woman is talking to the girls, they start noticing that that woman isn't being honest with her feelings. She has to be honest. She has to open up. She has to be real. She can't mask what she is feeling. If she doesn't do that, if she keeps on doing that, her goodbye won't be a proper one. She won't be able to give a good send out to her family. And at that moment, the girls haven't noticed that they were talking about themselves as well. They were talking about their own situation. They haven't noticed that. And that is another aspect that I loved about this. So we have the transformation, the girls become cures, and they both take the woman to the airport in time. Very nice usage of the cures in this episode. And when the woman gets there, she hesitates at first, and the girls are there to back her up. Go say your goodbyes. Don't give up. Let your feelings overflow. And that's what she did. She went there. She was able to give her present to her granddaughter, but she cried. The goodbye was not an easy one, but that is the thing about goodbyes. They're never easy. Goodbyes are always hard. Goodbyes are tough. And she was able to have her goodbyes with her family. And at that moment, the girls were watching that scene, and they noticed that they also had to say goodbye to each other. That was going to be the last moment of them together. And the only thing that they did was hold hands. I love that it's a parallel to that scene when they were looking at Sorashido City. They were not able to hold hands. Sora held her hand back. They were not able to hold hands in that scene. And now they are. Because now they noticed that they have to be honest with their feelings and also say their goodbyes. So I love how this episode was constructed. I love how the story of the lady connected with the goodbye that Sora and Mashiro had to say for themselves as well. I absolutely love it. What an incredible storytelling we had. And it only works because the construction of Sora's and Mashiro's relationship so far has been very good. If it wasn't a solid one, it would not have worked. I adore this episode so much. And then at the end, they are able to gather their things and get ready to go to Skyland. Ageha stays behind. This is probably one of the reasons why she won't become Cure Butterfly for now. We're going to have some adventures in Skyland, and I'm very excited to see how things are going to go in another world. Comparing to another PreCure season that has this, I loved when they went to the magical world in Mahotsukai PreCure. The magical episodes were always very fun, and I feel like the episodes in Skyland are going to be very fun as well. So this episode also had some other nice scenes of like Tsubasa staying behind. Tsubasa staying behind with L, and L wanted the shoes, but no, he was having to improvise and make her think of something else, and he became the villain. He was the villain. Kabaton is no more. Now Tsubasa is the villain, at least in L's mind. Oh my god, what an episode. So if we have to talk about Hero Corner, my Hero Corner of this episode was clearly the moment when Sora and Mashiro held hands. It was the moment that they were honest with their feelings, and they were honest with the fact that they were gonna be separated from each other, and they cried. They could not hold back their feelings as well. Amazing. Amazing. Oh, and there's another thing. That I forgot to mention before. When Yo-Yo was telling the girls that Mashiro has to stay in Sorashido, and Mashiro's like, oh, I will use the portal and go to Skyland and fight to protect L whenever it's needed. And Yo-Yo was like, yeah, you surely will. Like, she didn't even want to discuss. You know, she knows that's not possible. Like, we've seen how hard it is to open a portal. She knows that's not possible. And she was like, I'm not going to discuss. I'm not going to enter this discussion with my granddaughter because, you know, it's not worth it. Let her believe in this. She's just deflecting from the real problem. And she will eventually come to that. She knew. And, well, Mashiro did come to her senses and understood that this was a goodbye. Next episode, Skyland time, we're going to learn, we're going to meet a new character. I'm very curious to see her. We're also going to meet the captain, also very exciting, and a new villain. I am so curious for this new villain, baby. New adventures coming up in Hirogaru Sky PreCure. I am very excited. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for your support. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.